Hey guys, so today we are starting the chapter, The Key of the Garden. 2 days after this, when Mary opened her eyes, she sat upright in bed immediately and called to Martha, "Look at the moor! Look at the moor!" The rainstorm had ended and the gray mist and clouds had been swept away in the night by the wind. The wind itself had stopped, and a brilliant deep blue sky arched high over the moorland. Never, never had Mary dreamed of a sky so blue. In India, skies were hot and blazing. This was of a deep, cool blue which almost seemed to sparkle like the waters of some bottomless lake, and here and there, high, high in the arched blueness, floated small clouds of snow-white fleece. The far-reaching world of the moor itself looked softly blue instead of gloomy purple-black or awful dreary gray. "Aye," said Martha with a cheerful grin. "The storm's over for a bit. It does like this at this time of the year. It goes off in a night like it was pretending it had never been here and never meant to come again. That's because the springtime's on its way. It's a long way off yet, but it's coming." "I thought perhaps it always rained or looked dark in England," Mary said. "No," said Martha, sitting up on her heels among her black lead brushes. "No to the sort." "What does that mean?" asked Mary seriously. In India, the natives spoke different dialects, which only a few people understood, so she was not surprised when Martha used words she did not know. Martha laughed as she had done on the first morning. "There now," she said. "I've talked broad Yorkshire again like Mrs. Medlock said I mustn't. No to the sort means nothing of the sort. Slowly and carefully. But it takes so long to say it. Yorkshire's the sunniest place on earth when it's sunny. I told thee tha'd like the moor after a bit. Just you wait till you see the gold-colored gorse blossoms and the blossoms and the broom and the heather flowering, all purple bells, and hundreds of butterflies fluttering, and bees humming, and skylarks soaring up high and singing. You'll want to get out on it at sunrise and live on it out all day like Dickon does." "Could I ever get there?" asked Mary wistfully, looking through her window at the far-off blue. It was so new and big and wonderful, and such a heavenly color. "I don't know," answered Martha. "Thou's never used the legs since thou was born, it seems to me. Thou couldn't walk 5 miles. It's 5 miles to our cottage." "I should like to see your cottage." Martha stared at her a moment curiously before she took up her polishing brush and began to rub the grate again. She was thinking that the small plain face did not look quite as sour at this moment as it had done the first morning she saw it. It looked just a trifle like little Susan Ann's when she wanted something very much. "I'll ask my mother about it," she said. "She's one of them that nearly always sees a way to do things." "It's my day out today and I'm going home." I am glad. Mrs. Medlock thinks a lot of Mother. Perhaps she could talk to her." "I like your mother," said Mary. "I should think they did," agreed Martha, polishing away. "I've never seen her," said Mary. "No, they hasn't," replied Martha. She sat up on her heels again and rubbed the end of her nose with the back of her hand, and as if puzzled for a moment, but she ended quite positively. "Well, she's that sensible and hard-working and good-natured and clean that no one could help liking her whether they'd seen her or not. When I'm going home to her on my day out, I just jump for joy when I'm crossing the moor." "I like Dickon," added Mary, "and I've never seen him." "Well," said Martha stoutly, "I've told thee that the very bird likes him, and the rabbits, and the wild sheep and ponies, and the foxes themselves. I wonder," staring at her reflectively, "what would Dickon think of thee?" "He wouldn't like me," said Mary, in her stiff, cold little way. "No one does." Martha looked reflective again. "How dost thou like thyself?" she inquired, really quite as if she was curious to know. Mary hesitated a moment and thought it over. "Not at all, really," she answered. "But I never thought about that before." Martha grinned a little, as if at some homely recollection. "Mother said that to me once," she said. "She was at her washtub, and I was in a bad temper and talking ill of folks, and she turns round on me and says, 'Thou young vixen, thou! There thou stands saying thou doesn't like this one or doesn't like that one. How dost thou like thyself?' It made me laugh and brought me to my senses in a minute." She went away in high spirits as soon as she had given Mary her breakfast. She was going to walk 5 miles across the moor to the cottage, and she was going to help her mother with the washing and do the week's baking and enjoy herself thoroughly. So she really made Mary think, huh? How do you like yourself? That's a question to ponder, isn't it?